Continually striving to be the envy of the world's healthcare systems, the NHS decided it needed an overhaul of its computer systems shortly preceding the dawn of the new millennium. A decision was made to implement the newest, state-of-the-art information technologies in the hopes of linking all of its separate parts into a universal and synchronized system known as the NHS National Program for IT. They saw an opportunity to modernize the National Health Service by providing every individual with their own personal electronic care record, which could then be transmitted quickly between all parts of the NHS. The benefits of this seem obvious in that any patient could receive more personalized care from their general practitioner, regardless of which hospital they were taken to, given the ready availability of their entire life's medical record, as well as images of any X-ray or MRI they had ever received. This goal was never achieved, though, as a lack of direction and leadership led to continuous delays, massive overspending, and an immensely complex system, which was shunned and never accepted by the employees of the NHS. For the rest of this video, we will be discussing how project cost management in particular affected the outcome of this endeavor.
Britain's first health secretary, Frank Dobson, promised an information superhighway to be known as NHS-Net, which was the first blueprint of NHS's National Program for IT when estimating cost. Some found Dobson's plan pedestrian and wanted to expand the scope and haste of the deadline. Sir Derek Wallace, a city banker commissioned to review NHS funding, recommended doubling the budget of the original plan to £6 billion. However, he was he who later observed that the national program had largely occurred in the absence of any published measurable business case that would have helped in estimating cost. Richard Granger, IT Director and Chief Executive of NHS, who took over the project, decided when estimating the product's cost, he wasn't going to rely on one vendor to complete the project, so 4 companies were contracted to deliver local services in 5 geographic regions, which he thought would culminate in savings. Norman Lamb, the Minister of State of Care and Support, stated that he thought the project was never subjected to proper cost-benefit analysis. Next, we will examine what ultimately led to NHS's failure.
Several factors led to the failure of the National Health System computer system implementation. One major factor was that the scope of the project was too large. In an article written by Gene Whalen, it was stated, quote, "Future IT decisions would be made on a regional level, with more suppliers competing for contracts," unquote. This caused the cost of the project to increase and possibly doomed the IT upgrade project from the start. In the same news article, it is mentioned that some aspects of the project had been massively overpaid for. One report stated that the health department had overpaid one of the contractors for certain aspects of the upgrade, overpaying an average of $9 million, what could have been procured in the private sector for $1 to $2 million. Poor project cost management was the main factor in the failure of the upgrade. In an article written in 2006 titled, "Industry Stalls UK Health IT Upgrade," it is obvious that cost management was not taken into consideration from the beginning. Richard Granger, IT Director and Chief Executive of the National Health Service Upgrade, stated, quote, "We published our procurement approach up front. We identified the completion and financing risks, and we stated our desire, where it made sense, to transfer those risks to the suppliers. There were no surprises. Yet 3 years on, people are expressing surprise that some of those risks have matured," unquote. If project cost management had been taken into consideration in the beginning, the project may not have failed.
previously described, the NHS IT health system upgrade has been plagued by cost management issues. These issues are, firstly, a failure by the various project managers to utilize portfolio project management techniques. Also, there was a lack of a cost management plan to govern cost overruns. Finally, there's little evidence that there was a subject matter expert review of financial and technical plans. A cost management plan is important because it will dictate how supplier and subcontractor proposals will be evaluated. The lack of a cost management plan allowed contractors to carelessly make IT system purchases for £9 million that some hospitals were able to acquire for themselves at £1 to £2 million. It has been estimated that a savings of approximately £3.8 billion could have been realized had a centralized procurement procedure been established by the NHS. Poor control over the cost constraint caused contractors to walk away, caused a great deal of bad press, and caused the costs of implementing the project to exceed the revenue from the work. By managing the project as a portfolio, synergies would have been identified that would have significantly reduced costs, possibly making the first and largest successful civilian IT upgrade project in history. Project cost management is the process of assuring that project costs are incurred within budget. Project costs management begins with the assessment in the planning phase of the project. This assessment is an estimate of the total costs. Once these costs have been edited and approved by management, then the costs are controlled by constantly measuring the actual budgeted costs and revising as necessary. The tools used for project cost estimates include analogous estimates, bottom-up estimates, parametric modeling, estimating software, vendor bid analysis, and reserve analysis.
The future of project cost management should see a rise in the use of cost control software for contract management. This software is able to provide real-time project costs and project budgets and also compare the contract budget to actual costs by task, employee, or work activity. You will also likely see a growing emphasis within owner and contractor organizations to train their employees to improve their cost control skill sets by obtaining accreditation from one of various professional associations which have developed competency standards.